change. Climate change.
Mass extinction.
Climate change.
There's Bill Gates.
Change.
Bill Gates in the news. This is a BBC report. I'll play the introduction here and then got a little bit more of the specifics about his private jet situation. Interesting how they contextualize Bill Gates here.
For most of his life, Bill Gates has been the richest man in the world. But the founder of Microsoft has, somehow, gone from being the face of American computing and capitalism to the frontman for endless conspiracy theories. He's given tens of billions to philanthropy, focusing on climate change and global health.
What is this?
Particularly that of children.
I'm on this side.
I travelled to Kenya to question him on a range of issues, including those raised by critics of his philanthropy. Who made you God?
I'm not God. I mean, as a percentage of the world economy, I'm kind of rounding there. But yes, I decided that the death of children, when I read that diarrhea was killing 500,000 children and that the vaccine to stop those deaths was being given to the rich kids, but not to the poor kids, I said, wow, now I know the area of inequity, most of my money will go on.
During the pandemic, Gates became the subject of countless conspiracy theories.
I did not expect that, but during the pandemic, there were tens of millions of messages about that I intentionally caused it or I'm tracking people. Which it's true I'm involved with vaccines, but I'm involved with vaccines to save lives. I guess people are looking for the boogeyman behind the curtain, the oversimplistic explanation that its malvolence is a lot easier to understand than biology.
Burn.
What did he say? Malvolence?
Yeah, hold on.
Explanation
trying
that
to say
its malvolence is a lot easier to understand.
The malevolence, I think, is what he's trying to say, of the evil face behind the curtain is much more easily explained than biology.
Was he reading a teleprompter and misread malevolence?
I have no idea, but yeah.
If you've ever heard the word malevolence, how would you mispronounce it malvolence? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was saying something else. That's weird, though.
Yeah,
that's a reading error, not a speaking error.
It's interesting because after he gives examples of what people say about him in the conspiracy thing, he says it's true that I support vaccines and do it, but he doesn't deny any of that other stuff, like tracking people. It's okay, interesting.
Well, let's not get distracted by microchips, but certainly, I always love this. This argument that, people believe in conspiracy theories because it's the simple answer.
The simple answer.
What do you mean it's the simple answer? It's a complex web of motivating factors that creates a conspiracy theory. The simple answer is yes. I believe Bill Gates will save the world. Yes, vaccine. That's the simple answer. Mm-hmm. Conspiracy theories are not the simple answer.
No, especially, have you not seen the whiteboards with the red string, Bill?
Exactly.
Come on, man.
It's simultaneously.
You can just drop the word Epstein and Bill Gates, and what happens, Bill? It just goes away, or a huge rabbit trail of information pops out,
well,
so it's kind of like
it's an interesting rhetorical kind of limbo they're trying to do to call conspiracy theories too simple, and yet their own explanation is simplistic. They admit to dumbing it down because people aren't qualified to read data or whatever. Anyways, that's
the big sort of headline, the CNN's got it. Bill Gates asked if he's a hypocrite for flying on a private jet. See what he said. CNBC has it. Bill Gates on why he'll carry on using private jets and campaigning on climate change. And here's the clip in question.
What do you say to the charge that if you are a climate change campaigner, but you also travel around the world on a private jet, you're a hypocrite?
Well, I by the gold standard of funding Climeworks to do direct air capture that far exceeds my family's carbon footprint. And I spend billions of dollars on climate innovation. So, should I stay at home and not come to Kenya and learn about farming and malaria? Anyway, I mean, I'm comfortable with the idea that not only am I not part of the problem by paying for the offsets, but also through the billions that my Breakthrough Energy group is spending, that I'm part of the solution.
Ooh,
problem,
wow,
reaction, solution.
So
Bill Gates, everybody.
So many problems with that. What a fumble.
Yeah.
What a fumble. First of all, saying, well, I pay a lot of money, so I should be
lost you,
allowed
Basil.
to make a... Oh,
We lost you for a
me?
second. For a second,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You're back.
Such a fumble on his part. First of all, saying, well, I pay a lot of money, so I'm allowed to pollute. Okay? I'm allowed to pollute because I pay the money. Setting the moral standard for, carbon taxing people based on their pollution, which, if you are the literal richest guy in the world, you'll be able to pay a carbon tax or whatever. But if you're a regular middle class or lower class citizen struggling to buy eggs at the supermarket, you think that paying for their carbon footprint isn't going to be more of a detrimental thing? Again, lizard people, folks. These are lizard people only concerned with their own well-being. And then the idea that, so if I don't have a private jet, then how am I going to get to Africa? Okay, how am I going to get to Africa and save Africa?
Studying malaria and
a little bit of white savior issue there, if I was going to look through the social justice lens, a little white savior thing, but also you can just take a plane. Just because his implication is he can't travel without a private aircraft. Look, I get it. If I had a private jet, I would prefer to take the private jet. And I'm not even paying billions of dollars.
He needs better PR people. Bill, you're going to...
This problem was this isn't even... He has the best PR people.
Oh,
That's
know,
why he
clearly.
is who he is. He has the best, and he needs them because he obviously can't do it himself. You give this guy one chance to answer a question, and he completely fumbles it up altogether. Makes himself look like a bigger, out of touch, ridiculous billionaire than we already think he is. Anyways,
and this implication that you're a good person, you have to do philanthropy as defined by him and his organization and all this kind of stuff to be considered a good person. And
I mean, that's exactly it. He's purchasing moral authority.
Yeah.
And because he has money, he gets to do the things that nobody else gets to do.
but this is also the prototype.
The morally bad things because of his money. And it would be inappropriate for us to not draw the line between perhaps other billionaires who think that because they are rich, they get to do morally reprehensible things. For instance, Bill Gates's buddy, Epstein. That is the same mindset behind the Epstein sex trafficking stuff. Hey, we're rich. We can do whatever we want. We pay the bills, so we get to do morally reprehensible things.
Yeah.
And in Bill Gates's own worldview, flying a private jet should be a sin when it comes to, climate change stuff. That's a sin, flying in a plane. And yet he is purchasing the right to commit a sin by his own standards. Shows a lot about the mindset behind this guy.
Why do you think he's studying and learning about farming and malaria in Kenya, and then he has all this land out here in the U.S.? That doesn't make me feel comfortable as a citizen of the United States.
Well, he wants to control the dinner table is what it is. He
yeah,
just
apparently.
wants to make sure everybody eats healthy.
Oh, no, a malaria outbreak in the U.S. on all the farms.
Send some nets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay. All right. Well, what else? What do we got? And ending it with, I am the solution to climate change. What?
Hey, Bill. Yeah, I guess are you really the lizard? problem, reaction, solution. You are presenting yourself as the solution, the savior, the thing that's going to fix it. The one that's going to defeat climate change. You are the one. I mean, it's so interesting how even the problem itself is kind of a straw man. You know, they build it up because they got to tear it down.
He is some sort of like cosmic impersonation of the Hegelian dialectic.
He is the becoming
the
of
problem. He is the problem, flying his private jets and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
He is the reaction.
Yeah.
He's the one.
Yeah, his billions he's got to spend to be a good person. Yes.
Yeah. And he is the solution. He said it himself. So wow, I love it. That's great. It couldn't be any more perfect.
I know. It's tough to bag on an individual like this, but at the same time, he's sort of not that tough. I was going to say it's a little deserving, I suppose. But tell us how climate change is saving Europe from Putin as well.
Yeah,
Basil.
just a quick mention. I was going to do a deeper dive on this, but we're going to cut it, and I just thought it fit here. Speaking of climate change, Time Magazine has a headline here: "Climate change saved Europe from Putin this winter."
Oh, so climate change is the good guy?
Yes. Now, remember, yeah, exactly. Climate change is the good guy. Just a few months ago when winter was starting and Nord Stream 2 and 1 had been blown up.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing was because of climate change, this winter is going to be so cold and it's going to kill all the Europeans who can't afford liquid natural gas, heating for heating their house, right? That was all they could talk about. We covered a couple of headlines here. Climate change is going to kill Europe in an ice age. Well, turns out the winter hasn't been that bad in Europe and people aren't dying. So suddenly climate change has made it warmer and has saved Europe from certain doom because of Putin. And this article is wonderful. But first of all, well, it's wonderful because it implies everything we know about the war in Ukraine, knowing that the U.S. blew up Nord Stream 1 and 2 in order to make Europe reliant on American liquid natural gas and not to fund Russia. And yet Europe is still purchasing most of their gas from Russia, except for it's super expensive. And because of the carbon, the taxes, the pollution taxes, poor people can't even afford the propane or the liquid natural gas, et cetera, et cetera. It goes through the whole thing. But it does. The implication is climate change is the good guy. It saved Europe from Putin. And if Bill Gates is fighting against climate change, does that mean that Bill Gates and Russia are allied against Europe? I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just following the logic being laid out for me by the mainstream media. And we all know that, you just follow whatever the mainstream media says. And if it doesn't, if it changes on a dime and says suddenly that Bill Gates is allied with Putin to destroy Russia, destroy Europe, then that's what I'm going with. So that's the new grand scheme of the Ukraine war, if you were wondering.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad Bill's getting involved in geopolitics. This is what everybody wants, is Bill to openly, stop with the funding and the lobbying, just get out in front and,
and join Putin.
Join Putin. Wouldn't that be a complete trip? If out here in the West, they start equating Bill Gates as this evil man, the evil is Putin.
Who knows? Maybe it starts with this Time Magazine article. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes.
The unusual allies. Kind of like those YouTube videos, the unlikely animal friend.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's the monkey who's like friends with a lion at the zoo. This is kind of like Bill Gates is a monkey, and he's made friends with a bear, and they're just romping around trying to destroy Europe.